Hi, my name is Sam Ramsden. I'm the Director of Player Health and Performance for the Seattle Seahawks. And currently, I have been named the Infection Control Officer for the team. I'm about to take you on a tour of the changes and improvements and upgrades to our facility that are designed to provide the safest, cleanest, and most protective environment for our players, coaches, and staff. All right, well, what we see here is the screening tent. As we know, it's real important for our players that we screen them on a daily basis. There's 3 parts to their screening. First screening is that they answer a bunch of questions on a pre-entry questionnaire. This is on an app. They fill out the questions. They receive a QR code that says that they have finished the questionnaire. There will be someone sitting at this table that will scan their QR code, and they're on to the next step. The next step is they receive a daily credential. Credentials are important to identify the different tiers of employees in our building. Coaches and players are Tier 1, supporting staff are Tier 2, and then we also have miscellaneous tiers. Just so that you know, only Tier 1 and Tier 2 individuals can be around our players. The next step is they pick up a SafeTag Connexon chip. This is an interesting piece of technology. I'm wearing it on my wrist right now. But basically what this is designed to do, it's designed to ping off other chips. As we know, during COVID-19, physical distancing is super important. My chip is set to blink once I get inside 6 feet of another person. This type of alert will allow us the best chance of maintaining our physical distance. Once we've cleared those 3 areas, we now get in queue or in line for our daily COVID testing. This is a testing trailer. This is the path that all players, coaches, and staff take. There are signs on the walkway that keep all of our players 6 feet apart. They'll get their temperature taken, stand up to it.
Normal temperature.
Normal temperature, admittance granted. All right, come on this way. Again, physical distancing is super important. You'll see signs all along the floors. These are all the testing bays for our players, coaches, and staff. One of the really important features, I think, in designing our testing and screening protocol is I felt that it was super important that we create the most seamless, efficient, weight-free system possible. We have that. We have 6 stations, there's never a line, we're always moving through this trailer, and so it's very simple for all of our players and coaches to get through it every day. Here's an example of the type of signs that we're going to see throughout the building. This is required as part of the new agreement, the policies and procedures and protocols from the NFL. We need to post these throughout the building to make sure that people understand that if you're not a Tier 1 or Tier 2 individual, you're not allowed to be in this area. It's very restricted. So throughout the building, we have different spaces that can be used or not used. For example, on the elevator, only one person can be on this elevator at one time due to physical distancing restrictions. What we've had to do in the weight room is we have to create obviously cleaning carts, and sanitation is super important in terms of sanitizing our equipment. But one of the things that's really important that we've needed to do is we have taken the roster and we have chunked them up into small position groups. So at any one point in time in here, training and lifting is going to be one position group. There will be 4 areas that they will be able to train in at the same time, and then they rotate between positions, between groups, and between locations. That's going to be very important as we continue to focus on the physical distancing. Players are also required to wear face coverings when they're working out, as long as it's not uncomfortable and they can breathe.
So our strength and conditioning staff will have a lot of different sanitation devices and means of disinfecting available to them. They'll have carts at different stations during workouts, and then in between workout groups they'll be sanitizing all of the equipment with electrostatic sprayers. We put in a EPA-approved disinfecting product into the tank. You basically just pull it like a squirt gun, and the disinfecting product is applied through an electrostatic process, so it actually clings to the surface that we're trying to clean.
And so once the players get onto the field and it's time to practice, there are some changes that have been made there too. That every player will have their own water bottle on the field. There's specially designed totes that our athletic training staff will move into position as players need. Each water bottle will have the player's name on it. It is their water bottle only. They'll also get their own individual towel, and if they need another towel, they'll be provided one. But there's no longer communal water. There's no longer communal towels on the field. So what you can see behind me is another adaptation that we've had to make in our facility. We've had to add exterior tents, and inside those tents, we've created extensions of our athletic training room as well as our weight room. The blue tent that you see behind me has our dumbbells and benches inside of it. That aspect of the training program, the strength and conditioning program, is going to be found in this tent. The indoor practice facility is another example of physically distancing our players, spreading them out so that we have the room to train them and they're not training on top of each other. Well, this is an area where players probably spend most of their time in close proximity. Physical distancing is very difficult in the locker room, as you can imagine. So, what our equipment staff and facility staff has done is they've come up with this fantastic idea of creating barriers in between each locker. As you'll see, all of these white partitions. These allow a player to sit in their locker next to a teammate without creating a close contact. That's super, super important, because without these barriers, this would not be a usable space.
So we developed like a system of seating to keep players and staff 6 feet apart as they're sitting. And then this row will be roped off and off limits. And then they still only sit where there's an empty seat without an X through the whole auditorium. I believe it's about a third of the capacity of what it normally is. We have approximately 52 hand sanitizer stations in the building.
I also thought that it'd be really important to give you kind of a look at how we're going to fuel and feed our players. It's really empty right now, but essentially what happens is that all of the players, coaches, and staff have an app on their phone, and it has the menu. I open up the app, I order what I want to eat tomorrow for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I get an order number. Once my meal is ready, I get a notification. I can come from my office or anywhere that I'm at. I can come up to this station. I can tell them my name and my order number, and they'll bring me my food, and you're off and going. So once they've got all of this done and they've checked out in the building's super clean. We've screened them. We've traced their steps throughout the building so that we can identify any close contacts. We've created touchless meal service. We've eliminated the use of meeting rooms. They leave us, and then what? Again, they must carry their habits with them home. Physical distancing, super important. Hand washing, can't stress that enough. And to maintain the use of face coverings when out in public are crucial. All of those habits are what are going to help the Seahawks stay healthy this season.